Manchester City 3, Newcastle 1, ending 5-1 on aggregate. Man City absolutely destroying Eddie Howe's Newcastle, and it was pretty much a foregone conclusion from the very first leg anyway. But we're here to talk about it and obviously talk about the potential final between Arsenal and Manchester City at Wembley. What a story this is going to be. Aaron, how you doing, mate? How did you find the match, first of all? We're going to obviously summarize that in short, and then we'll obviously get into that final, because that's what I really want to talk about. So what do you think about the match itself from Man City and how they done pretty much a professional job today, really not allowing Newcastle to get into the game?
Yeah, so from the way I saw it, man, the first half I thought Newcastle just didn't really turn up.
Yeah.
Second half was a different story. I thought Eddie Howe kind of got them together a little bit, and the performance was much better.
Yep.
But the first half they literally just got ran through. Semenyo, Reinders, Marmoush, all of the usual suspects were just on great form. Nori was fantastic in that first half as well. And Newcastle just had no answers. Like poor Dan Burn, he seemed to be in the mix of nearly every goal that went in in the first half. Do you know what I mean? Second half they were much better. They came into the game a bit more. It wasn't all Man City, but yeah, man. I think like from the first half, I think Eddie Howe will be devastated, and all those Geordies that obviously went all the way to the Etihad might be a bit disappointed. But
yeah, true.
Got beaten by superior quality, mate. There's no doubt about it.
That's it. Facts. Yeah, I saw it. I was really actually impressed with Semenyo, how he was playing today. He was using the whip very well, cutting in really beautifully, like allowing chances to be creation. And I really obviously respect Pep Guardiola's style. He's always gone through this rhythm of play where it's possession based first, but they move the ball quickly. The tempo was really high, and Newcastle couldn't deal with it. So when I looked at the match and I was looking at it in the first half, especially, Man City killed off the game before the second half could even, take into place, take into action. So we are looking at, obviously, a potential final, well, not potential final, an actual final between Arsenal and Man City now. Pep Guardiola versus Arteta once again. And looking at today's match and seeing how Man City are playing and seeing them 1 month later, that's the main key here. It's the form going 1 month later after both teams have potentially gone into Champions League games. Everything's happened around that situation there. And we're looking at a Carabao Cup between these two teams. And I think personally that Arsenal, I'm going to be honest, I think Arsenal are going to be too strong for Man City. I don't see Man City unless Erling Haaland is on absolute superb form and superb in the game itself. I don't see Man City even touching Arsenal personally. But I don't know about your thoughts on the final, because obviously Pep is Pep. He's obviously Man City. I think this was their 10th final they've reached in the League Cup final. Carabao Cup.
Very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. It's just looking at Man City itself and saying, can they really beat Arsenal? I'm not entirely sure, but what's your thoughts on it? Because it's a bit early to predict it, but I don't even know. With the current state of the teams, I'm not even sure. What's your thoughts?
I think you've probably gone a little bit too early, Dave, in terms of like the predictions and stuff like that. I don't know. There's a lot of football still to be played, and obviously you said it's like a month. It's the 22nd of March.
Yeah, exactly. March. Yeah.
So there's a lot of features to go, as you said. The Champions League
injuries could bulk up as well.
And if you look at it in the final, it's one game. It's a one-off thing, isn't it? So I mean, sometimes form going into finals means nothing. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's the two best teams in the country at the moment. Let's call it that. And you never know on a one-off, man. Pep's obviously very experienced at winning trophies. Arteta has obviously just got an FA Cup so
Only
far.
the FA Cup, yeah.
So obviously we're looking at, if you do the head-to-head sort of thing, do you know what I mean?
The paper,
say City have been there and done it, but then Arsenal have just been so strong, and obviously, do you know what I mean, went for a war with Chelsea yesterday. City pretty much coasted today. I don't think City really got out of second gear, to be fair, today. I don't think Newcastle were that worthy. So obviously, two different journeys to the final. I think with the amount of the amount of competitions that Arsenal are in, could that be an inhibitance to obviously the progress? I'm sure Arsenal fans would definitely say no. They were expecting. Obviously, watching obviously the fans on social media yesterday, I think the Arsenal fans are very expectant. And City fans will obviously be, yeah, we've been here, done this before, so I don't see why we should see Arsenal as an obstacle. Obviously, the form going into the game and obviously the season, but I mean, I feel like both teams have shouts to be quite confident in the final.
Yeah, true. And it's just boiling down to, like we said, if injuries take into play there, if they have certain form blips that could hamper them in the final. Yes, form does go out the window, but then Arsenal have been so strong that I don't really see them faltering. That's why I said a bit of an early prediction, but it's not really an early prediction, is how Arsenal are playing at the moment and what are they offering on the table and what Man City are offering on the table. Man City have had their recent run-ins where they have lost games like Bodo Glimt, different games as well, obviously in the Premier League. And in Arsenal, obviously, apart from the Man United game, which is a very how can I say it, a very difficult game to overcome. But they smacked up. It's just like they just go back into normal form again. It's like they don't have any. They're not phased by it. So Arsenal and Man City is always going to be a great final. It's the two best teams in England going off at each other, and this is what we want to see probably in the actual, maybe in other finals as well. I want to see these two teams go at it because they are the two best teams, I would say. Not in Europe. Arsenal probably the best, and then Man City fall off maybe just Bayern Munich or PSG and other teams in Europe. But they are the best, both of them. So I would love
two contrasting styles as well, really.
Exactly.
I mean? You never know what Arsenal will turn up. But is it the footballing side? Is it the kind of aggressive, like low block Arsenal, or will City be able to play that football that they played today, free flowing up front? I don't think so. So
I don't think so against Rice and Zubimendi. If that's a two in the midfield, like we mentioned yesterday. But I want to say something about Newcastle as well, because Newcastle, they're a good team. Like we can't deny it. They're a superb team. Obviously, this season hasn't been the best for them. They're not in the inspiring form that they were. But look, I think Eddie Howe's done an immaculate job, and he's brought in immaculate players that has really transformed Newcastle. And obviously, since their takeover, and obviously Newcastle trying to get into that phase where they may become a city in the future, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a superb amount of years.
There's so much restrictions on them, really, with
with
financial fair play and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not obviously going to be the Man City fairy tale where obviously the investors came in completely rejuvenated, transformed Man City into the team they are.
It's really unlucky though, in terms of they just bought them too late before all of these restrictions. Like, obviously not trying to cause any beef or whatever, but Manchester City and Chelsea and that took the piss. Do you know what I mean? We're able to sort of, spend freely, and then obviously now you get like the richest kind of like ownership you could want. And you can't really invest it heavily to sort of really transform your team. So it's a shame, really. I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen that Newcastle.
I would have loved to have seen it, and everybody would like to see it because Newcastle is a team that we grew up with. We know, obviously, that and through that era.
I know as well. Yeah,
you definitely know.
Yeah. Kevin Keegan and all that.
Kevin Keegan, Ferguson. Great season that was.
If we beat them, I would love it.
And it's such a historic club in football in England, and we just wish good things for Newcastle. But when we look at Man City, we look at Arsenal, and these two teams, I think overall they just have strength in depth. Look at the depth that both of these squads have. It's ridiculous. Real Madrid don't even have this depth that Man City have. Like, how can Arsenal and Man City have this incredible depth? And we're looking at it and saying that Arsenal really have done this over the period of time that Arteta's been there, and just trying to strengthen maybe each position a little bit individually, bit by bit.
Yeah, I was listening to some of Lee Judges speak on AFTV yesterday, and he was
Yeah,
saying that most of the other big clubs like say Man City and all that sort of thing have really bought their way to it. Under Arteta, really, Arsenal kind of spent a lot of money, but they've kind of not really, bent the rules or cheated or
yeah.
whatever. I'm not blaming again.
You're talking about the Chargers, mate. Man City
Allegedly,
Chargers. Yeah, I get it.
allegedly.
Yeah,
Again, do you know
yeah,
what I mean? I don't want any beef with anyone, but allegedly, so you got to give them credit for that as well, sort of thing. Obviously, it's the kind of antithesis when you look at it in terms of Man City. Do you know what I mean they spent a lot, even this transfer window here, bringing in Semenyo and all that sort of thing. So they're still building even for next season as well, sort of thing. So it's interesting. But again, it's all going back to the final. Do you know what I mean? City have got a lot of players coming back from injury as well, sort of thing.
true.
Rodri, I don't know. I don't know if a month will be enough for him to get back into
No,
his
I don't
vein
think
of
so.
form.
I
He's
think Rodri
looking really
is
rusty today.
Rodri's not the same player of as of the best kind of years of him. He's got excellent technique. I love Rodri. I personally said that Rodri, as a Real Madrid fan, should have won that Ballon d'Or over Vinny. I said it
Yeah,
personally over him.
mhm,
I think Carvajal should have been in front of Vinny for that year anyway,
yeah,
myself. But Rodri is superb, like such a brilliant player. But I don't think this time is enough for him to get back into usual form. I've got to be honest.
yeah.
And he will look sluggish, he will look slow, he'll look a bit lethargic until he builds up that. It's probably
He
going
needs
to
he
take
needs a run
him.
of games now, doesn't he? Really?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does need to
yeah,
run the
yeah,
games. I don't
yeah.
think. I honestly don't think that considering his injury worries, depending on how Rodri is playing towards maybe the end of the season, if he gets selected by De La Fuente for Spain, I'm not entirely sure.
You don't think so
I'm
for
sure.
the World Cup?
I think he will, but I think Zubimendi will take the reins in
I
that
mean, he's had a
position.
good season, so Mendy really has been consistent,
Exactly.
hasn't he? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
He has been consistent. So I don't think Rodri is the player there. I'm going to be honest. I think Zubimendi is for Spain. So Man City have their
One
issue.
to watch, mate. We'll see. We'll see how
Yeah,
that turns out. Yeah,
exactly. And I think Man City have obviously the players there that could harm Arsenal, but it's all going to be evident obviously in time. We can't be too predictive right now.
hmm
And I feel that a player like Rodri needs to have a good few months playing consistent football. But the thing
hmm
is, will Pep throw him into the deep end to give him that few months of consistent football?
yeah,
Because they clearly missed him last year. They missed him in abundance last year. Yeah.
hmm hmm
So that you see Rodri when he's not featured in the team, Man City don't look the same as stability wise in
yeah,
midfield
yeah,
as they did with him. So I mean, they have excellent players. Man
mm,
City, they're always going to have excellent players, and Pep Guardiola has actually recruited. He's found gems, like he's found absolute gems. Reinders, like Semenyo, like
yeah, yeah.
these are
Good players,
gems.
good players. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Nori, absolute gems in this team.
I
So,
mean, if City gel as a team on any given match,
mm,
man, they can give anybody hell today.
oh
The
yeah,
first that
absolutely,
first half of Newcastle, they made Newcastle look a bit silly, to be fair, defensively. So
yeah,
that's the potential that you got. Arsenal, obviously, massively different proposition. But yeah, obviously, I feel like City for one now need to obviously in the lead up to the final just get results in the Premier League, in the Champions League. You know, I mean, really,
yeah,
really start get. Do you know what I mean like that incentive to sort of maybe change
get
the
it together.
narrative of just Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal? Because I think everyone's kind of
Yeah.
on that train at the moment.
Yeah, I think everybody's looking at Arsenal as the potential champions, and Man City. The difference between them is that you could see Man City just going on mad runs, like 10 games wins in a row, and you never see it coming. It's just like bang, like just
Mm,
start smacking up teams all over the place. But
mm,
that's how Man City rolls up. I don't think that's this year. I've got to be honest. I don't think Man
mm.
City can do that. They don't look as strong as the seasons that they won the Premier League. I've got to admit,
Yeah, no,
even though with the
it's not the best
additions,
season from them this year.
the
No,
additions, great. I know, obviously, Semenyo, great
they're
addition.
gonna take time to gel as well, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
obviously, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Who knows if Pep's going to even be there next year as well? Apparently,
Yeah,
what
apparently
people
that's
are
the
saying
news
as
coming
well.
out
So
that Pep,
yeah,
Pep probably is going to be the last season at Man City.
mm.
And who's going to take over? Maresca, Xabi Alonso. Who knows, mate? Who knows?
Mate, there's a plethora of managers
Fabregas.
available, though. Do you know what I mean? Like
Fabregas is definitely called into that one for his stint at Como. So I'm not
Iriola's not
entirely
done a
sure.
bad job in the Premier League so far as well. He's leaving
Absolutely,
Bournemouth as
absolutely.
well. Do you know what I mean? So,
It's all the Spanish
quite a lot.
managers looking to take over. He says he's just and Maresca, just Spanish managers and Maresca. That's it, you know. So I'm not entirely sure, but obviously Man City today overcame Newcastle 5-1 on aggregate. They do reach the final to face Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. That's been myself and Aaron for Dave and Aaron Talks Football. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on anything that we've said in this video. Guys, take care. Adios. Good night, and we'll see you for the next match reaction or match preview that we're doing on this channel. Take care, people.
Take care.
Adios.